Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hopefully you guys are having a great Wednesday. This is going to be a short episode for today because if you're watching this on YouTube, I am feeling a little bit fuzzy and not feeling that great because of my allergies. Like, I'm not sick, but I just have allergies because, in case you guys don't know, it is spring, it is allergy season, and that's why I'm feeling a little bit fuzzy today. If you're watching this on YouTube because of my allergies, if you're listening to audio form, I'm pretty sure you can tell that as well. I'm not feeling like my normal self because of allergies I'm having because it's allergy season. But we are going to still try and do an episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast, so just bear with me. Got a few NHL news to discuss. This is going to be a short episode for today, so make sure that you stay tuned in to the end. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started. So Jakob Chychrun, he signs an 8-year, $72 million contract with the Washington Capitals on Tuesday. That will start in the 2025-26 NHL season. He was going to be a UFA after this season, but the Capitals locked him up for 8 years. First season with the Capitals, by the way, since being acquired in a trade with the Ottawa Senators on July 1st of 2024 for defenseman Nick Jensen and a third-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft. This season for Jakob Chychrun, he has 44 points in 66 games played, 18 goals, 26 assists for 44 points in 66 games played this season, which is a career high for Jakob Chychrun. In his career, he has 260 points in 533 games played with the Coyotes, Senators, and Capitals, so 94 goals, 166 assists for 260 points in 533 career games played. He has 1 goal in 9 Stanley Cup Playoff games, so maybe he has had a solid career for a defenseman overall, but he's going to be a great fit in Washington for the next 8 years. And this is what Jakob Chychrun had to say on the contract signing. He said, "It's just been awesome. It's been a blessing for my wife and I. We just from day one felt so comfortable here, so happy here. The organization is incredible, and obviously the group of guys, what we have in this room is so special, and I love working with the coaching staff. Everything has just been so great." And this is what Capitals head coach Spencer Carberry had to say on the contract signing. He said, "It's a huge signing for our organization, for our team, and for the future. He's done an amazing job since coming here at the beginning of the year. He's fit in so seamlessly well with our group. His personality, his skill set is obvious. I don't look past his skill set because he can do a lot of things with his skating, his shot, and running the power play, getting up into the rush, beating guys in one-on-one situations off the offensive blue line. So that goes without saying. He's the elite skill set defenseman in the NHL. And this is what Capitals general manager Chris Patrick had to say on the contract signing. So he said, "Jakob is a proven dynamic defenseman in the prime of his career who has established himself as one of the premier blue liners in the NHL. His work ethic, skill set, and ability to excel in all situations at both ends of the ice make him a valuable asset to our team. He is a perfect fit with our culture and vision for the future, and we couldn't be more thrilled that he will continue to be part of our organization for the next 8 years." Overall thoughts on this? I think this was a great signing for the Washington Capitals. Jakob Chychrun, he's a solid defenseman, veteran type-ish defenseman as well. So I think this is a good sign for Washington Capitals. He can generate a lot from the offensive blue line, and just a solid defenseman overall. And he probably might be somebody that I might have on my hockey team as well. So. It's a good thing that they didn't let him just go to UFA. They signed him right away. And speaking of the Washington Capitals, staying with the Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin, he scored career goal number 889 in the Capitals' 3-2 overtime loss to the Winnipeg Jets on Tuesday. 6 goals away from passing Wayne Gretzky on the NHL's all-time goal scoring list, which of course the great one has 894 career goals. Ovi has 889 career goals. And the Capitals, they moved to 47, 15, and 9 of the season after that overtime loss to the Winnipeg Jets. They have 11 games remaining in the 2024-25 NHL season, so there's still hope for Alex Ovechkin to break this goal record before the season concludes. And if not this season, then most definitely in the 2025-26 NHL season, but it would be cool for him to break the record before this season comes to a close. Capitals' next game is Thursday, March 27 against the Minnesota Wild. That game will be in St. Paul, Minnesota, and that game will stream on Hulu and ESPN Plus for you to watch. As a Blackhawks fan, you guys heard me say this on the podcast before, if you've been listening, that I'm hoping for Ovi to break the record against us. I know he scored his 800 career goal against us, but I would love to see Alex Ovechkin break the goal record to pass Wayne Gretzky against the Chicago Blackhawks, and that game is on April 4th, by the way. That is a home game for the Washington Capitals. Overall, I would love to see Ovi break the goal record at home instead of on the road. I feel like doing it at home in front of your home fans, just like Wayne Gretzky did when he broke Gordie Howe's record when he was on the Los Angeles Kings at the time. He was at home in front of the Kings fans, and he broke the record. And I want the same thing for Alex Ovechkin to break the goal record in front of his home fans, the Washington Capitals fans in DC. That would be really cool right there. Andrew Mangiapane, he also scored for Washington, while Logan Thompson made 22 saves on 25 shots faced the net. And for the Winnipeg Jets, Nikolai Ehlers, he scored the overtime game-winning goal for the Jets a minute and 28 seconds into overtime. And Winnipeg moves to 49, 19, and 4 of the season, almost to 50 wins for the Winnipeg Jets. So that is impressive. And they sweep the season series against the Washington Capitals. They won 5-4 in overtime on February 1st in Washington. Ovi did get his 877 career goal in that game. And not only was this an overtime win for the Winnipeg Jets, but they also clinch the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs. They're the first Canadian team to clinch the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs, and they're also the first team in the Western Conference to do so, and the second NHL team to clinch the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Of course, the first being the Washington Capitals. Josh Morrissey and Mason Appleton scored for Winnipeg, while Connor Hellebuck made 27 saves on 29 shots faced the net. And the Jets, they continue their 4-game homestand Friday against the New Jersey Devils at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And like I mentioned already, the Capitals head to the state of hockey, Minnesota, to face the Minnesota Wild Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That game will be on Hulu and ESPN Plus for you to watch. And hopefully we get to see another Alex Ovechkin goal in that game, and he can be 5 goals away from the record. But still staying with the Washington Capitals and Winnipeg Jets, people have been talking about it. I have been thinking about it. Could we see a potential Stanley Cup Final match this year between the Washington Capitals and Winnipeg Jets? So the Capitals, like I mentioned, 47, 15, and 9 of the season with 103 points. First in the league. Jets 49, 19, and 4 of the season with 102 points. Second in the league. And these two teams have been neck and neck trying to get that President's Trophy, which of course the last team to win the Stanley Cup and win the President's Trophy was my Chicago Blackhawks, and we got it done in 2013. Can the Capitals or the Jets do the same thing? So the season series, Jets sweep the season series with overtime wins over the Capitals from yesterday and on February 1st. So this kind of shows that this game, if we do see the Capitals and Jets in the Stanley Cup Final, we could see this go to a 7-game series with either team winning in 7 games. I don't think this is going to go to 6 games or 5 games or just be a clean sweep. Definitely not going to be a clean sweep, considering how good these teams are. But I can see this series going to 7 games if we do happen to get a Capitals and Jets matchup in the Stanley Cup Final. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that we can get a matchup with the Capitals and Jets in the Stanley Cup Final? Please let me know in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify. I don't think you can comment on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio, so just let me know down in YouTube or Spotify if you think that we can get a potential matchup of the Capitals and Jets in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final. Okay, moving on to the Lightning game against the Penguins on Nikita Kucherov. He reaches 101 points of the season in the Lightning's 6-1 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. He had a goal and 2 assists for a 3-point night to reach the plateau. 101 points in 67 games played for Nikita Kucherov, 31 goals, 70 assists for 101 points in 67 games played. He extended his point streak to 6 games, 9 points during the span, so 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points during his 6-game point streak. And also he's tied with Leon Draisaitl for second place in the league with 101 career points. Of course, the first one being Nathan McKinnon, who has 107 points of the season, I believe. So I know he scored in yesterday's game against Detroit Red Wings, which PS is always good to see Detroit and Colorado going at it against each other despite them not playing in the same conference or same division, because think back to the 1990s, that the Red Wings and Avalanche, they didn't like each other. They also have a documentary about this on ESPN Plus called Arrival, and it talks about the rivalry between Detroit Red Wings and Colorado Avalanche, which for the Red Wings you had Darren McCarty on the team there, Steve Yzerman, Chris Chelios, Brett Hull. And for the Avalanche, you got Peter Forsberg, Patrick Roy, and forgetting the other guy's name, but Claude Lemieux, and just those guys on the Colorado Avalanche at the time. So that was a rivalry back then in the 1990s. Not so much of a rivalry right now because they're not in the same division or same conference. But yeah, Nathan McKinnon is first in the league with 107 points. But going back to Nikita Kucherov, he's the first player in Lightning franchise history to have 100-plus points in 3 straight seasons. Of course, you go back to the 2022-23 season. He had 113 points in 82 games played, 30 goals, 83 assists for 113 points in 82 games played in the 2022-23 season. And then as you go to last season, he had 144 points in 81 games played. So 44 goals, 100 assists for 144 points in 81 games played. He actually won the Art Ross Trophy that season, 2023-24 NHL season. He won the Art Ross Trophy then, and he was first in the league with 144 points. And then, of course, this season you got him reaching 101 points in 67 games played, 31 goals, 70 assists for 101 points in 67 games played this season. So he's knocking on the door. I think he has like 971. I could be wrong on this, but let me know if I am wrong or not. I think he has 971 points in his career so far. So no doubt in mind that next season he's going to get 1,000 career points. But anyway, with the Lightning's win, they moved to 41, 25, and 5 of the season. They lost 2 straight games heading into this one, so it was good to get a win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Anthony Cirelli, he scored twice. Ryan McDonough and Brandon Hagel each had a goal and an assist for a 2-point night. And Andre Vasilevsky made 14 saves in this game. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Brian Rust scored the lone goal for Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby had an assist on the goal to extend his point streak to 8 games. 12 points during the span, 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points during the 8-game point streak for Sid the Kid. And Tristan Jarry, he was pulled in this game. He allowed 4 goals on 7 shots faced the net. He was replaced by Alex Nedeljkovic, who made 18 saves in relief. And Pittsburgh, of course, they're not going to be a playoff team this season. It's been tough for them overall. They lost 3 of their last 4 games. 1-2-1 during the span, and they moved to 29, 33, and 11 of the season. But they wrap up their 3-game road trip in Buffalo against the Sabres Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Lightning continue their 3-game homestand against Utah Hockey Club Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, NHL games on the slate for today. So there's only 4 games on the slate for today. Starting off with the Vancouver Canucks taking on the New York Islanders at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Last meeting of the season between the two teams. The Islanders won 5-2 back in Vancouver on November 14th. So we'll see if the Islanders can sweep the season series against the Canucks. Of course, both of these teams are battling for a wild card spot in the playoffs. So, and like I said on the podcast before, points are at the essence. Points are necessary. So both teams are looking for a big win in this one. And then you got the New Jersey Devils taking on the Chicago Blackhawks at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. This will be the first of 2 games on TNT. Last meeting of the season between the two teams. The Devils won 4-1 back in Newark on December 14th, which was actually, Drew Comesso's NHL debut in that game. So rough go for him and his NHL debut. And of course, the Devils, they're coming off of a 4-3 shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks on Monday. You saw the frustration from Jacob Markstrom as he let in that shootout goal from Jonathan Lekamaki, and he slammed his stick into the net. He actually broke his stick, slammed it on the net. So you can tell the frustration that the New Jersey Devils are having. Their key players are out with injuries: Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, Andre Palat. And then you had Jonathan Kovacevic saying that the Devils need to be a playoff team, and Sheldon Keefe fired back and said that Kovacevic just needs to play better. That will help. So you can tell the frustration that the New Jersey Devils are having, and no doubt in mind that they're going to come out into this game and play and have a stronger performance based on all the frustrations and the struggles that the team is having. So I expect the Devils to come out furious and play a tight, strong checking hockey game against the Blackhawks. But hopefully the Blackhawks can win against the Devils, and the Devils won't have to sweep the season series. But I will expect the Devils to come out ferocious in that game. And then we got the second game on TNT, rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, which the Oilers won in 6 games. That's year. So we got the Dallas Stars taking on the Edmonton Oilers at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This game will also be on TNT for you to watch. Home team has won the first 2 meets, and Dallas won 4-1 back on October 19th. Edmonton won 5-4 in regulation back on March 8th. So this is the last meeting of the season between the two teams. And the game on March 8th between the Stars and the Oilers was actually Mikko Rantanen's Dallas Stars debut. Of course, he was traded from the Carolina Hurricanes to the Dallas Stars. And, we talked about before on the podcast how Mikko Rantanen, if he were to get traded from the Colorado Avalanche, that he would play for 3 teams, and the Hurricanes wasn't one of them. So it made sense for the Canes to trade away Mikko Rantanen. But in his Dallas Stars debut against the Edmonton Oilers, he had a goal and an assist for a 2-point night. But the Oilers came out with the win nonetheless. And in the last game of the night, we got the Boston Bruins taking on the Anaheim Ducks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Last meeting of the season between the two teams. Anaheim won 3-2 in overtime back on February 22nd at TD Garden. Leo Carlson had the overtime game winning goal. I don't know where the Bruins go from here after trading away the captain and longtime player Brad Marchand. He played 16 seasons with the Bruins. He won the Stanley Cup with the Bruins in 2011. So I don't know where they go from here. Not going to be a playoff team. And it's going to be a struggle for the Boston Bruins overall. So we'll see what general manager Don Sweeney does. So we'll just have to see how everything goes from here for the Boston Bruins. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, just a short little episode, not the 30-minute episode or more, because sometimes I do go over 30 minutes. If you been listening to the Hockey Talk TG podcast before, I tend to go over 30 minutes, but we'll stay under 30 minutes. Just a short show for today because of my allergies. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell if you're watching it on YouTube, but if you're listening to audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you can probably tell by my voice that my allergies are bothering me. So hopefully I get better for Friday's episode of Hockey Talk TG podcast, and just overall. But hey, it is allergy season. It is spring. It is allergy season, so you're gonna get allergies when springtime comes around, because like I said, that is allergy season. So yeah. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God first as always. Be blessed. I will see you guys Friday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.